Mirandasya Gyananjanasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tudalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadavaktaya Namo Yang Prabrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virakatarvajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Banedus Tam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vina Aparadalakshay Chiptasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapadyam Prinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavoivasmi Najivami Tam Vina Iti Vikyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimati, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimati, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Can you get this throat spray? Throat spray. And Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. To our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And all of his divine associates. And all the assembled devotees. So this is the Sunday Q&A. We're going to make it a little bit shorter today because today is the last day of the painting that I've been working on for the last 10 or 11 years. And so I'm kind of on a mad rush marathon to get it finished today. So are there any questions?
You said 11 years?
Yeah, about 11 years.
And today is the final day?
Yeah, today's the final day. Can you see if there's any questions on the live stream?
So
otherwise, if you here have any.
No questions yet.
Okay. Do you have, serious life questions? All right. No questions from anybody?
No.
Either here or there?
Well, maybe it will be just.
You don't have to think of a question on my account.
I thought about an old question now. So about your.
Can you come closer so that they can
Yes.
hear you in the phone?
So
Closer. You have a very soft voice.
can you please help us to describe what the painting, what's the meaning of the painting?
So, I was just asked what's the meaning of the painting, and that leads me to announce that on October 24th, from 7 to 9, we're having a big celebration on the completion of the painting, photography, and presenting the G-clay. And so at that time, I'll spend an hour speaking about all the secrets, the pastimes, the personalities in the painting, like what they do. Like one of the gopis does magic, another one makes sherbet, another one makes flower umbrellas, flower beds, flower earrings, and what the parrots, the significance of the parrots and the peacocks are. So that will all be on October 24th.
Try. Yay.
Are there any other questions? Otherwise, I'll read from Prema Samput.
Okay. Prema Samput.
Hmm?
Prema Samput.
Okay, so as you know from last time, Krishna is always looking for ways to understand the love of Srimati Radhika. And one of the ways that he devises is to put on disguises and pretend that he's somebody else. So she might share her loving feelings with this so-called other person, whereas she wouldn't if it was Krishna directly. The analogy given by Srila Viswanath Chakrabarti Thakur is that transcendental love is like a lamp, a ghee lamp, and if you keep it in a chamber closed up, the fragrance increases and becomes more saturated. And if you open the door or the window, then the fragrance dissipates, evaporates. So prema is like that. If you say, "Oh, I love you," then it disappears. In Gopi Geet, Srila Gurudev discusses this too, that if you invite a friend over, and then you tell the friend, I really tried so hard because I know that you like these particular preparations. So I particularly went to the store, and I went to the right store, and I got all the exact preparations, and I cooked it the way you like it. Then prema goes down. But if you say, "Oh, I just happen to be making this, so you can have some because that's what I have," then the prema goes up. So therefore, Krishna takes on different disguises in order to inspire Radha to share her love with another person, so-called other person. And the way he did it this time is by telling her how bad Krishna is, what a debauchee he is unchaste, and he leaves you crying. So Radharani wants to help the disguised Krishna understand her love and how what is unconditional love, and how not only does she and Krishna understand each other's mind, but they're one soul in two bodies, or one candle with two wicks, or one lamp with two flames.
Like identical twins.
Well, not like identical twins,
Oh.
because they're very different in their, she's a girl, he's a boy.
Oh.
She's smarter than him. So Radharani answers, Stay with me, and I will be able to make you understand clearly why I cannot become indifferent to Sri Krishna, even though I suffer so greatly because of him. When the disguised Sri Krishna heard the words of Sri Radhika, he said, "Alas, alas, you still lack faith in me, even though we now know each other. Radha, you want me to be your Saki, but that is something for a distant future. At the moment, I'm just your maidservant. Please be happy with me and control me in every way. Oh Radha, I swear by Sri Vishnu that you are my one and only shelter. You punish me or show me mercy." So then Srila Gurudev explains in the commentary, Sri Krishna's words here are completely true. This is because without the highest love that's possessed only in the heart of Radhika, even her closest Sakis don't have it, Madanaki Mahabhav, it is impossible to fulfill Krishna's desire for amorous love. So he says, "You are my one and only shelter." When she heard this, she said, "Oh my friend, if you desire to hear about my praying, then listen. Anyone who says, 'This is the extent of praying, this is praying, this is the nature of praying,' or 'this is not the nature of praying,' knows nothing about praying, even if they have studied the Vedas and all other scriptures." And then Gurudev writes in the commentary, "The nature of praying cannot be explained in words. It can only be experienced. Indeed, it will not manifest in one's heart as long as he has a mind with which to deliberate upon it. As long as we have this material mind, which can think about what it's like, and maybe try to compare it to something I experience or did experience before I was a devotee. So as long as we have a mind to deliberate on it, it will not manifest in the heart. One who tries to deliberate on its nature using the material mind and intelligence remains unqualified for it, even if that's the sole subject of deliberation. It's completely beyond all else. It is swa samvedya, meaning it can only be experienced by itself. One who has it can know what it is. It will not manifest in one's heart if he has any inclination other than to make the beloved completely happy, which is what pure devotion is. It's nothing other than being fully absorbed in meditating on what makes the beloved happy. Will my beloved be happy by my doing this? It's not possible in this world. It's not possible to be unconditional in this world, because that's the nature of the world, is it's self-fulfilling, or the attempt is there, but there's always frustration. So one who merely deliberates on praying cannot realize it, and upon attaining it, nothing else is perceived. You don't know what is Maya, you don't know what is misery. All the scriptures can be realized by deliberation, right? Like it says that there's the bona fide guru, one of his qualifications is that he realizes the scripture through deliberation, meditating on it. So all the scriptures can be realized by deliberation except praying. So now Radharani is speaking of him. O Saki, suppose someone wants to grasp the nature of praying and tries to explain it to another, even though he has no realization of it himself. In that case, he who tries to explain it is cheating, and any realization realization resulting from those words is simply a fraud. Prema is the most excellent of topics, and it cannot be described in words. It disappears upon being analyzed and becomes even more concealed when it's not analyzed. And she continues, when the heart is filled with attachment to Krishna with affection, a mood naturally reigns in which there is no other desire than to give him happiness. And when one makes him happy, even though one's tendency of heart is neither to deliberate on how to do it, nor how to neglect it. In other words, you don't think. You just, by being immersed in the beloved, you don't have to consider, see, if I do this, then he'll be happy. It's just like Radharani's body is made of spontaneous love. So we'll find out why she sometimes tells Krishna to never speak to her again. That's only for his happiness. The symptom of rag, which means an unquenchable thirst to be with the beloved due to a complete saturation in him. Due to the excellence of strong loving attachment, the heart's condition becomes such that it experiences supreme bliss even in distressful conditions. Is that you? All because of the possibility that one will attain one's beloved. Like, for example, if Radharani wants to see Krishna, then, and she needs to, be at a certain angle, a certain level, like suppose he's on top of Govardhan, and she needs to get situated in such a way that she could see him. She may step on sharp stones, but she doesn't feel it because her consciousness is fully absorbed in, this is going to help me see Krishna. Without that possibility, even the condition of complete happiness is distressful. This state of heart is called rag. Then here's a good one. This is the one that I mentioned at the Shakti Fest class yesterday or the day before. This is coming from Radharani. Just as a lion defeats elephants and nourishes itself by eating them, similarly, this extremely powerful prema nourishes itself by conquering the unlimited and difficult miseries caused by what? Caused by conditions of the world, by one's own body, by matters related to the body, and even by troubles caused by the beloved himself. All of those miseries are conquered by prema, just as a lion who defeats an elephant nourishes itself. So prema nourishes itself by conquering the unlimited material difficulties or spiritual difficulties caused by Krishna himself. The proud, confident, and graceful lion sleeps fearlessly without disturbance. Similarly, that prema which brings, and why are we reading about this? So we know the goal. Because without knowing the goal, there's no question of a means to attain it. So we are not going after the prema of Radharani, we are going after the prema of her maidservants who know how to serve her in her own rag. That makes sense to you? Have you deliberated on it? Okay, so Similarly, the prema which brims with affection exhibits pride due to the rise of man and reaches the stage of pranaya. So man means transcendental, jealous, loving anger. So just like the proud, graceful lion sleeps without disturbance, so this prema, which brims with affection, exhibits pride, like man is jealous anger. Okay, well, I don't want to have anything to do with you. They have such pride, because prema begins when the symptom of prema is that it's a condensed sense of possessiveness. Krishna is mine. So when they come to the stage of man, which is not intellectual, well, I think I'm going to be angry now because that will, rather it's all spontaneous and it's all arises being controlled by that prema. Is there a question? What's the question?
Why don't you finish your chain of thought and then we can take some.
Finish this thought. I'd like to start the thought. So because he's in prema, one thinks he is exclusively mine. That associate, that beloved, knows that if I exhibit, they have the pride that if I exhibit this man, that will bring him closer to me. Unlike the material world, as if you know a jealous woman is sickening to a man, usually, especially when she harps on it. Look, I saw you looking at that girl. What were you thinking? I saw you talking to her. I saw you smiling at her. What were you thinking? I don't believe you. What were you really thinking? That's a perverted reflection. So she knows that that's going to bring Krishna happiness and bring Krishna more loving to her. So just as a lion considers a dog to be insignificant, so prema does not recognize insignificant dog-like obstacles. There aren't any. All the obstacles just serve to increase it. Just like because Gurudev is saturated with prema, his birth chart says that the more people, demoniac forces try to stop his preaching by bad propaganda, the more his glories will be spread. So just as a lion considers a dog to be insignificant, so prema does not recognize insignificant dog-like obstacles. Just as a lamp's glow becomes brighter in the darkness, so the glory of prema becomes more lustrous in the face of obstacles. With those obstacles conquered, prema becomes more radiant than before, because it nourishes itself on the elephant, right? Thus situated, it never diminishes. Question? That is 3 questions. One, first the live stream
I
question.
thought this was asked last week.
Oh,
But maybe while working as a child care worker in home care,
louder?
while working in child care or home care with people with disabilities, I might need to feed the children or young people meat. I'd rather not do it at times I need to do it. I told Gurudev 2008, I was working as a flight attendant and had to do a similar job serving the flight passengers. His reply was to change my situation. My situation changed when I'm encountering similar challenges. Do we get the karma of feeding them? Or my heart gets contaminated? How can I do this kind of work without getting a bad reaction? Or how can I get a totally different situation? Please help.
So, Hare Krishna, good question. You mentioned that you asked Gurudev in 2008 what to do about the fact that you're a flight attendant and it's part of your job to serve meat. And Gurudev told you to change the situation. So you changed the situation, and then you ended up in the same situation of having to feed meat to childcare. So you know the answer that Gurudev would give you, which is change your situation, because yes, you will get karma. Just like there are eight persons who are subject to punishment in any crime, let's say a murder. The person who designs the murder, the person who pays the person who's murdering, the murderer, person who gets the benefits of the murder. So similarly, there's 8 persons who, all the accomplices. There are 8 persons who have to suffer karma in relation to meat ingestion. That is, the person who grows an animal, breeds an animal, person who sells the animal, person who turns the animal into meat, person who buys that, and the person who cooks it, person who serves it, and the person who eats it. They're all culpable. They're all punishable. So you can change your job if you want to be free from the karma. Otherwise, there's no other way out. Not only that, what are you going to do about the karma that you already got from feeding them meat? Maybe you'll want to do some austerities. Chant extra, read extra, pray extra, lament extra. Just like, what is that? Teresa? Mother Teresa. Everybody glorifies Mother Teresa, but she served meat to the poor people. She doesn't realize that she's participating in them becoming meat and her becoming meat. Is that the only question?
Chibanga had a question.
Tribanga has a question? Prabhu? Yes, what is your question?
I heard that Prahlad Maharaj was a Prema Bhakti in Shanta Ras. I recently heard that Shanta Bhaktas don't go beyond Bhav Bhakti. Was Prahlad Maharaj at the level of Prem or Bhav?
So does somebody want to go and give them anything? The father and son. Some Indians are so far out. Sometimes they come in the temple and they just look at the deity, pray, and then go. Because they have their own relationship. So where were we? Oh, Prahlad. So Prahlad Maharaj is a Premi Bhakta, means he has this mamata. In not Shantaras, because he Shantaras there's a certain kind of Shantaras that goes to the level of praying. There's 2 kinds of Shantaras that don't, and 1 kind that does. But besides that, he is a Premi Bhakta. He has love for the Lord, but he's called a Jnani Bhakta. Jnani Bhakta is different from a Jnani. A Jnani is someone who wants to merge into the effulgence of the Lord, or wants to become one with the Lord in all respects. And they are condemnable. Just like if your mother bore you from her womb, and then she's trying to give you a good time and send you to school, but you're really unhappy, miserable, when you say to your mother, I want to go back into your womb. I want to, leave my conscious existence. It's like becoming a stone. But a Jnani Bhakta is a devotee, a Premi Bhakta, a lover of Krishna, who has Gyan, or knowledge of Krishna's opulence. that he's all-pervading, all-knowing, all-powerful. So there's no need. So that Jnani Bhakta thinks there's no need of personal service because he never gets tired, never gets hot, so no need to fan him. He never gets thirsty. Even after Lord Nrsingadev just killed his father, because his father was trying to kill Prahlad, and it was a big demon. He didn't think, well, my Lord is sweating, maybe I can fan him or give him a drink of water. Nothing, because he's just thinking he's all-pervading, unlimited knowledge, unlimited power, never gets tired. So because of that gyan, the awareness of the Lord's opulence, they don't do personal service. But it doesn't mean that they don't do service, because Prahlad, preaching is a service, right? So when Prahlad's classmates, when his teachers were out on recess, Prahlad glorified Krishna to his classmates. But it's just not personal service. So there's a lacking in the intimacy. Any other question from the audience here?
Yes.
By the way, I'm happy to see a full house here today. Not a brick is missing. Okay.
Why is that in the Gata?
Closer to the phone.
In the
Come right
lecture
to the
that you
phone.
did?
Right to the phone.
Yes.
Speak into the phone.
Yeah, in the lecture that you just already read,
It's not a lecture, it's a conversation book.
The conversation. Okay. Why is that they use this as a metaphor?
What?
Why is a lion?
Why did Radharani use the example of a lion
Yes.
to explain such a pristine, tender thing as love, whereas it's gross to have a lion eating an elephant? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I'm just wondering why a lion is part of all this metaphor.
The lion is part of it because it works. Also, in the front of many Gaudiya mutts, you'll see a big sculpture of a lion biting an elephant. He's defeating an elephant, and there's blood coming from the elephant. Why is that at the gate of the Gaudiya mutt temples? And it's because elephants represent vices, elephantine vices. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya is compared with a lion. He has a chest like a lion, a waist like a lion, the power of a lion, and he destroys the elephantine vices in everyone's heart. So Radharani, why does she use that? Because it works. The lion becomes nourished by what? He nourishes himself by eating that which he killed. So Prema destroys obstacles. No obstacle can exist. No obstacle to Prema can exist in the face of Prema. So the more obstacles there are, the more Prema is nourished. I gave the analogy of her standing on sharp stones. And she was happy about that because it helped her to get a better angle to see Krishna. When she's cooking for Krishna in the morning at Mother Yasoda's house, she has hundreds of stoves because Krishna has millions of coward boyfriends who he eats breakfast with. So she has hundreds of stoves cooking thousands of preparations, and she's not perspiring at all. because she feels so refreshed and so happy. There's no need even to fan her. So it's the nature of prema, and so it's a good analogy. Do you have a question?
Are we saying praying or praying?
Prema.
Praying.
We want to pray for prema,
Oh, pray for praying.
but it's prema
Okay.
that nourishes itself and that can't be understood by deliberation and all that.
Okay. Because when it comes to praying, I guess praying itself, I'm about to share a secret about me. I've never liked to pray, only because I've always felt like praying, I don't want to pray for myself and I don't want to pray for results. I want to pray because it's sincere. And so what is praying?
Well, we're not describing, but we're reading that. Can somebody spray this place with that herbal insect sprayer? And maybe close the door.
Yeah. Now they did it right.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow, yeah, you're getting bitten up,
Yeah.
aren't you?
yeah.
Vasanti, could you bring the,
She's-
what do you
she's
call
gonna
that?
bring it.
But we also have a little ointment called Sting Stop.
Yeah.
Could you get the Sting Stop? And then you could put that on your bites. In fact, the other door is open too, on the other side. So everybody's getting sprayed now, but no, it doesn't kill the insects. It just makes them not like you.
Oh, they
It's an
do.
herbal spray, very good. It's a good spray. So, so regarding praying, you said that you don't want to pray for yourself.
I've never wanted to pray for just for myself.
We don't want to
and
pray for our,
results, 'cause
we
at
don't-
first it was like,
we don't want to pray for material results,
right.
but we don't want to be Mayavadis or impersonalists and think that we want to reject spiritual results as well, because we want spiritual results. The spiritual result is bhakti, and I want the result of being free from material desires, selfishness, lust, greed, anger, pride, illusion, envy, right?
Right.
And we want pure bhakti to enter our heart. And we want the awareness of how to, and we want compassion and awareness of how to help others and bring them to bhakti as well, right? So that kind of praying is not only okay, but it's obligatory. That's why we have so many prayers in our songbook full of prayers. Does that answer the question?
I don't feel like I've ever prayed right. I don't think I've ever really. I mean, I grew up in a house that prayed, but I always felt like there was something wrong with the
Oh
praying.
God, give us our daily bread. He's already doing that.
Right.
So we want to pray the prayers that are in the songbook. Like, oh, I'm lamenting so much because during my youth I had bad association, I engaged in material activities, and now my very body is an obstacle in my bhajan. I'm trying to be absorbed in you, but because of the karma that I accrued, that from my sinful activities as a youth, that karma is strangling me. And so I'm coming and crying to you, this is my sad state. So please deliver me from that karma so that there'll be no more obstacles in my absorption in you. I mean, there's hundreds of prayers in the songbook, so I think you have a songbook.
Yes.
So if you just read them, and you can go on the internet, just type in the name of the song, and so many kirtaniyas, samples of singing that kirtan will come, and gradually you'll learn everything. Or you can just read them. And what we want to do when we pray, when we sing anyone's kirtan or just read anyone's kirtan, is we pray to the author of the kirtan that this is your song, because you felt it when you wrote it. It's not mine, so please make your song my song. Please make my heart and your words and your heart one. So that Gurudev advises us to pray on top of praying the prayer of our previous acharyas.
Last question.
Last question.
I read that all suffering and calamities in life is Krishna's mercy, or that is how a devotee must think. So should a devotee try and avoid and strive to avoid calamities and suffering in life?
All right, so what I think the question is, we understand from our Guru Varga, from our disciplic succession. Do you need more? We have, no, she doesn't need the spray. She needs the sting stop. That's not it. Where's the sting stop? Okay, so, what? Where are we?
All suffering and calamities.
Oh yes, so we understand from our scriptures and our disciplic succession of pure gurus that all suffering is Krishna's mercy. In fact, there's a verse about that, I hope I can remember it. Tatenukampam shushumikshamanam punjana evatmakritam vipakam ridvag vipurbir vidadanamaste jiveta jomukdipade dayabak. That a devotee sees all suffering as that I deserve much worse. And so that's two things going on. By my karma, it would have been much worse, but because of my connection, newfound connection with bhakti through Guru, Krishna is minimizing that karma. That's one. And the other one, it's Krishna's mercy, because the whole creation of the material world is Krishna's mercy. Krishna doesn't do anything that's not his mercy. Just so, because we made the mistake of turning away from him, so he's showing us what it's like to be turned away from him. It's not a very happy one. Just like my hand is turned towards the light, it's in the light. My hand is turned away from the light, it's in the darkness. So the material world is the darkness of ignorance, full of scary things. So it's Krishna's mercy to show us not to turn away from him. And it's a result of our karma to show us not to do that again. So, yeah, a devotee thinks like that. So what's the question? Oh, should we try to avoid suffering? We may try, but that doesn't change the situation. I may try for happiness, but whatever happiness is destined to me from my past activities, that much will come to me. I may try to avoid distress, but that as much distress as is meant to come to me, either by summary or by the whole thing, depending if I'm trying to be a devotee or not, that will come. So it says in the scriptures that just by Srimad Bhagavatam, that just like misery comes without attempting for it, similarly happiness will come without attempting, according to what we're destined. Therefore, one who's sincere about spiritual life spends his valuable human life in trying for that thing. We endeavor, right? But not for happiness or distress. We endeavor for that which is unobtainable in these three worlds, which is bhakti. Yes?
You had mentioned that Radharani would tell Lord Krishna that she didn't want to talk to him. And, I understand how Lord Krishna could feel with that, but that was really going on. There was like she would get mad at him like that? I mean, I see all the depictions of Radharani and Lord Krishna. They're so glorious.
It's a very, very deep answer.
She didn't tell him that? Wow, it's like...
The answer to your question is like, how does Krishna handle that? And why would she want to say, don't talk to me anymore? This is the language of love. Vasanti, would you like to share that story of the king of Assam? He was a king of...
No, I only have 7%.
Okay, she only has 7% battery, so we're going to talk fast. There was once a king, and he had a queen, and his kingdom was attacked by the enemy. His wife was captured, thrown in jail, tortured. He got away. Then he's in the forest. He's all ragged, skinny, beard, worn and torn clothes. And he happens to hear that two people talking. Our king is so mean. He got away and he doesn't do anything for his wife. She's being tortured in prison of the enemy. So he felt so bad, and he went there to the prison, and he told the jailkeeper that I am the guru of the queen, and she's waiting to see me. So when she saw him, nobody recognized him because he was so ragged looking. But of course, as his wife, she recognized him. So she said, "Get him away. He's just a lusty man. He's not my guru at all. He just wants to be lusty with me." So they, slapped him around and kicked him out. So one person understood why she did that, and that is her husband. That what she really meant when she said, get him out of here, he's a lusty man, she was speaking the language of love. And what she really meant to say was, listen, you better get out of here really quick, because otherwise they'll capture you and you'll be tortured too. They'll start recognizing you if you hang around too long. So leave immediately. Get the difference?
Got it.
That's the language of love. So what is Radharani? Stay tuned for the next class and you'll find out. Because she explains to Krishna why she speaks like that to him. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur ki jai, Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. Want to show the deities? Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji ki jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo.
When the deities gave us darshan after the devotees dressing them last night, I remembered something that Prabhupada told the pujaris back in the mid-70s that I had forgotten for years, and that I didn't understand at the time, or I understood it in my superficial way. But after hearing from Gurudev how it's in the Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna says, who has an abundance of sweetness and beauty and fragrance more than me? And then he describes how he is totally controlled by her, Srimati Radhika. So Prabhupada said that he told the pujaris, if you make Radharani look more beautiful than Krishna, then Krishna will stay here on the altar. So I never understood until I met Gurudev, and I just remembered it last night. Thank you. Bye.